I'm happy to say I did have sales on 3 platforms this month: eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. Hi, welcome to Well-Bred Wardrobe. I'm Christin, a full-time American reseller making my way from Seattle to Sydney. Here's what sold for the month of March 2023 for $25 and up. I'll post the pictures of what sold so you can see what I'm talking about. For the month of March 25 and up, we have 40 sales. Let's start with eBay. Although this first sale did get returned. I'm including it anyways, as my friend Melissa, the thrifty broad, says, if it sells once, it will sell again. So this first sale was from the brand Osange Paris. It was a linen lag and look dress, and it did sell for $30 plus shipping. The buyer returned it due to fit, which is allowed on eBay. She was super sweet about it, and she said she was actually sad that it didn't fit her quite correctly because she really loved the piece. This was a one size fits all kind of situation. I described it as fitting like a small, and she said it was still too large for her. The next item that sold on eBay was from Free People, and you will hear Free People quite a few times in this What Sold video. This was from the division Movement, and it was a Model Echo Harem pant. It was a size medium, and it sold for $41.64 plus shipping. In my last What Sold video, my actual only What Sold video prior to now, I was running a promotion with free shipping. I ended that in February, so everything that sold in March did have shipping in addition to the prices that I'm telling you. The next piece to sell actually stayed in the state of Washington, and it was by Designer Threads. It was a 100% alpaca Peruvian gray shawl poncho, and it sold for $75.64 plus shipping. Next was a sale from Habitat, Clothes to Live In. It was a brown tapestry brocade jacket, and it sold for $25.49. These prices are a bit odd because I was running a sale. I don't recall if these sold during the 25% off or possibly larger discount. I did run 2 during the month. The next thing to sell was from Zara, a brand that I personally love to sell. This was a red gingham midi dress, and it sold for $29.99. Next was a pair of Miss Me low-rise jeans, size 26, and these have sold previously on Poshmark and were returned due to, I'm going to say, fit. The case was approved, they sent them back, I sold them again. They sold on eBay for $35.99. These were a bins pickup. It was still a really good profit, and due to the return on Poshmark covered the cost of the return shipping. I wasn't out of pocket for that. Our next sale on eBay was a men's item. This was a Valenti men's lamb's wool cashmere gray jacket, and it sold for $67.99. I was a bit surprised at how many outerwear pieces sold in March. So let that be a note for next year. Outerwear still selling. It did snow in March and April here in the Pacific Northwest. Now we are 2 weeks into April as I'm filming this, and it's finally actually spring. Our next sale was a Coach purple metallic purse. This actually sold overnight. It was given to me by one of my housemates' parents, which was super sweet. They donated a bunch of items to me instead of giving them directly to the Goodwill. And this sold for $44.99. This is a great example of metallic being in fashion for spring and summer of 2023. Next was a Free People, so there's that name again, baby doll embroidered dress, very bohemian style as the brand is known for, and it sold for $41.24. After that was the brand Marni. This is an Italian brand. I did call this green floral sleeveless blouse a moody floral, and it sold for $37.49. Now we have another Free People piece. A Free People cream leather purse sold on eBay for $63.74. I did have this for quite a while before I cleaned it and listed it, and then I think it's been listed for about 6 months. Our next sale was from the store Aritzia. It was the Wilfred Boheme line. This was a pair of mustard wide leg pants, and they sold for $29.99. Some warmer wear, finally selling. A pair of Levi's 501 cutoff shorts. I did not write the size down, but they sold for $44.99. One of my larger sales, perhaps the largest actually across all 3 platforms for this month, was a sequin beige nude tan gown. This was new with tags by Adrienne Pepel, and it sold on sale for $111.74. I do remember finding this at a thrift shop and paying a little bit more for it than I typically would, but it was new with tags, and formal occasion wear does sell for more money. That's it for eBay, so let's move on to Mercari. I've noted that for the month of March, I had 9 sales on Mercari. This is actually good. This is up from last month for me. Only 3 are going to be on this list of $25 and more, which means smaller sales happening on Mercari. However, they take less percentage from the seller. So there's a plus, I suppose. I sold bras, belts, shoes, pajamas, shirts, and dresses. Here are the 3 things that sold for a higher amount. First, Baltic Born. I mentioned this in my last haul video. It's a great occasion wear dress, and they also fit maternity, which is a pretty neat thing to have a dress that can fit you through any stage of life. This dress that sold was a size extra large. It was a rust colored gown, and it sold for $55. And the customer did let me know that she was using this for photographs that were happening the following weekend. The sale that started my month, so this sold on March 1st, was a vintage Y2K set from the brand Twisted Heart. This blinged out suit was a size small petite. It had so much interest, but I did worry that the petite was going to be what stalled out the sale. It had likes on eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark. Finally, someone purchased on Mercari for the full reduced asking price of $74 plus shipping. That was a bins pickup. I was super happy with that. And the last thing to sell for $25 plus over on Mercari was a Cantha Bay silk caftan. This is one of 4 items I picked up from this brand that was new to me from the bins in a recent haul. It turns out that the brand is pretty popular. I got a lot of interest again on all my platforms, and this sold for $50. Now, Poshmark. On Poshmark, you'll see some of the same brands creeping up once again, plus a new one, Universal Standard. My first sale was a Universal Standard black Misa jersey dress in a size 2 extra small. Now that is a vanity size. 2XS equals a 6'8" or US medium. When I was listing these items, I made sure to put the actual brand size, so 2XS, in the title as well as medium. I listed them under medium so that anyone that could actually fit this item would find it if they were searching by their size. I think it's very important that you note both, because some people are going to know, oh, I'm a 2XS, and start looking for that. But the majority of people, when you're filtering for your size and you're using the drop downs on Poshmark, you're going to be looking for medium. If you looked under extra, extra small, you know that only Universal Standard and maybe a handful of other brands have that vanity size. You're not actually in that size, you're a medium. Anyhow, all that to say, it sold for $28. Next was another pretty recent pickup. I had this pink sweater from Demi Lee, New York. I picked up this wool mohair knit sweater at the bins in a recent haul, and it sold for $51, and this was a size large. This next one, I've given myself a little bit of grace to include it because it did only sell for $24, but I thought these were so neat and unique, I would include them. These pointed leaf fairy shoes, I also included the words costume and Renaissance in my listing. They were a European size 37. They were a bins pickup. And I don't know, would you have picked these up to resell? They're so very different. $24, not bad at all. Next was an item that I thought would sell a lot faster and for a lot more money. This was C by Chloe, so not the same as C New York. C by Chloe trench coat. It did have a missing button, and it was a size 4. It sold for $38. This was something I picked up at Crossroads, and so it's been quite a few months having this on hand. And again, a little disappointing that it didn't sell for more. I did pay up, however, I also averaged my cost of goods, so there was still a profit to be made. Next was another really unique piece. The brand was Tyro by Tess, and I could not read that as I picked this up from the bins. I first searched Cairo by Kess. Of course, nothing came up, and I nearly listed it as unknown. Here is a picture of the tag, one tiny tag. I chose this from the bins because the knit felt amazing, very high quality, and it's so light, right? It's going to cost hardly anything. It's really going to help my average cost of goods for the day. I took the time to do some research. What I found out was that Tyro by Tess is made by elder statesmen, and that everything in this particular brand was made of baby alpaca. So it didn't matter that it didn't have a fabric tag. My research proved that I had the right fabrics. I included all the research, like the article that I found, in my listing, and it sold on sale. This tiny taupe knit men's beanie sold for $58. And I could have probably held out and gotten more, but that is a fabulous flip, and I want money now for moving. Okay, moving on. M&S was the burnt orange wide leg gaucho pants in a size 10, and they sold for $26. The next sale was a bra. You don't see too many of those on my 25 and up what sold videos. This one did sell for $28. The brand is Panache, and it was a size 36 double G. This was called the Chai Envy Side Support Bra. So that was a great flip. This next piece was a flawed item. It was by Helmut Lang, cropped sweatpant, men's, size large, and I really hesitated on listing these. Of course, I bought them. I bought them at the bins. I saw they looked a little damaged, put them in my cart because a great brand. Got them home and noticed that they were not able to be laundered. And they did have like a faint discoloration across the front. And so I really just prolonged listing them because I wasn't certain about selling a luxury brand and men's with a flaw. However, I did list it. They sold fairly quickly for $44, and I got a really great love note where the buyer said, "Thanks so much for listing these." So there you go. They were pretty cool and unique style. I bet they're comfortable. Next, another piece that I brought home from Crossroads many months ago, had a ton of interest and no bites on until now. This was a frame olive green moto mini dress in a size medium, finally sold for $68. Next is an Athleta piece. This is the Coaster Luxe sweatshirt. I had wanted this for myself. It did not fit me the way I wanted. This was a size medium and it sold for $25. Another sweatshirt to sell at that $25 price mark was by the brand Spiritual Gangster and Peloton. This hoodie was a size large, and if I found this today, I would not pick it up. I feel like this is at the end of its popularity, and I'm just going to say I wouldn't pick this up again. Probably not even for $1. I have other things that I would rather sell that are going to be sold at a higher price point and sell faster. Glad to see this one go. Next is another universal standard piece. This was new. These black jeans were a size 30, so not under vanity sizing, and they sold for $75. Super happy with that one. Another men's piece to sell was this new J. Crew blazer, and it sold for $66. After that, we had an ASOS wool coat. I loved this coat. It had beautiful golden buttons all down the front, very militant looking, and it sold to a woman who was going on vacation to Europe and needed a coat. So I love when customers tell you a little bit about the new experience they're going to have with the clothes. It's just fun. And this sold for $50. Next was Zara again, a navy pearl button jacket dress. I picked this up thinking it was a jacket. It was only the stock photo that told me, hey, this is actually a dress. And it sure had a lot of interest. It sold for $30. Another universal standard piece is next. This is a red tunic dress, and it sold within 12 hours of listing. I was shocked, and it sold for $48. Next, we have a size 2X blue mixed media nightgown from the brand April Cornell. I have a bit of a sad story for this one. It sold on Poshmark for $40. I shipped it out. Everything's great there. I delisted using my Vendu cross-lister. It somehow got hung up on eBay as delisting, never delisted. And 2 days later, sold for $55 on eBay. I did have to cancel that sale. I used the little, it's not a trick, but piece of advice if you don't want your eBay account to get dinged. I told the buyer, hey, I'm really sorry, this sold on another account and I had a technology malfunction, which is the story of my life, and it didn't get delisted here. Is there anything else in my shop? I offered her, I think, $100 credit because I felt bad. I don't want her to, not have her item, but I don't have another one to send her. And because it had happened just a few days before, it was very clear in my mind that this had sold, I had packaged it, it was gone. She declined the offer and said she understood, and then I was able to cancel the sale with the selection of at the buyer's request. So I don't get a ding on my new, fresh, only 40, I'm up to 40 now, feedbacks on eBay. 40 after being on eBay in actuality since the year 2000, but whatever. So what I've learned from that experience is to just stay on the screen when delisting on Vendu, or to at least make a habit of going back once per night at all your and look over all your sales and make sure it is actually delisted. That was just a bug. It happened. Moving on. The next thing to sell was by the brand Marine Layer, and this was a green utility jumpsuit or romper. It was a size extra large, and it sold for $44. Another outerwear piece to sell in March. This was a Big Chill brand maxi cream embroidered hooded coat. I did use the keywords penny lane, and I suggest you do the same for any maxi length cream or brown colored coat with embroidery. That is something people are looking for. And this sold for $30. Had I held on to this until next winter, it might have sold for a little bit more, but I do not plan on being in the United States next winter, and I was happy to see it sell now instead of having to be donated or clearanced out at a low price prior to my move to Australia, which we're hoping is this summer. Our next item was another piece that was donated to me, and this was by the brand Born, and I don't have experience selling Born. Now I do. This was a pair of black distressed Mary Janes, and they sold for $29. Nearing the end, Universal Standard. This was really the brand to sell this month. This was a Nalia button-down tunic in a size medium. So again, their tag would have said 2XS. And it sold for $35 on Poshmark. Next was an Anthropologie piece that I absolutely loved. The brand was Tabitha, and it was a green plaid jacket. It sold for $35. And the last piece, we're back with the brand Cantha Bay. So this is the second out of the 4 pieces I purchased. This was the boxy lag-and look top. I honestly thought this would be the last piece to sell because all of the other pieces were long tunic caftan type cover-ups, and this one being a shirt, I just thought it wouldn't be as popular. I was wrong, and it sold for $40. So that's everything that sold for me 25 and up for March 2023. I'm pretty happy with how sales are going lately and hope they only pick up from here. I do expect I'll have lower priced sales now that we're mostly into spring and summer. A lot of those items are lighter weight and just don't retail for as much money, and they're not going to resell for, the same price as a coat or a pair of boots. However, I will tell you I've had a lot of leather sandals sell lately, and they're going to be on next month's video because they are 25 and up. Some of the lower priced items are bras, t-shirts. I don't think I've had any bathing suit sales yet. I expect to. All those sales are going to add up. A lot of resellers talk about summer slowdown, but I'm going to do my best to not have one. I'm listing every day. I'm relisting every day, and I'm accepting lower offers. I think all of that is going to help my total for the month be just fine. And a bit of a life update. Since the last What Sold video, the deadline has passed, and my partner Elias and I have provided all the information that the Australian government was asking of us. If you're new here, I am immigrating over to Australia. My partner lives there as a citizen. We've been together for over 5 years now, and we applied for our visa 11 months ago. At the 10-month mark, our file was finally opened, and they came back asking for our police checks, my FBI clearance, and some essays, some declarations about our relationship, as well as a sponsorship application from my partner. I don't know when they're going to open it next, but it's exciting to know it could be at any time. After they review this information, we'll get our answer, and when we get the yes, I'll be able to start preparing for my move. So yeah, I'm not planning on holding on to inventory to get a higher profit per piece. I am now in the business model of fast flips. That being said, I do still have bills, rent, and airfare to pay for, so I'm also not letting my items go for free. Thanks so much for spending this time with me today. I hope you learned something. I know I learn every single month by what sold out of my own shop, as well as watching other people. Remember that your cost of goods is really only relevant to you. Knowing what a piece is worth is, I think, far more valuable. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As a new YouTuber, I could really use the boost. And while you're there, why not comment? Would you have bought the leaf shoes? Would you wear them? Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next week. Enjoy the next chapter.